Hi, everybody. Hi, babies. How are you guys? I know you guys are used to me starting at 8 o'clock sharp, honey. But there was like insane. Hi, Fifi. There was an accident and we were stuck and I was going insane because I was like, I hope my people wait for me. So hello, everybody, and welcome to our 10th episode. This is so 10. I'm Rah Ali and Richard is on tour for makeup and he'll be returning on December 10th. I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Jeroslyn JoVonn. Jeroslyn, darling, are you here with me? This is our official new home for It's On Site, each and every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Now, today's topic is human trafficking awareness. If you look at my shoes and my bombs, I want to give a couple shout outs really fast. Be sure to let Jeroslyn know to unmute her mic. Hi, Sweet Pea. Alisa, thank you so much for supporting with the bombs in the shoes, representing for Millie.
Can you hear me?
Rhonda, yes, I can, darling. Millie, hi, sweetheart. I can't wait to talk to you. Naturally, Nikki, hi, everybody. At the end, I'm going to give a couple more shout outs because you guys are so supportive. I'm starting to recognize your names. So I'm going to start this again. Today's topic is human trafficking awareness. Sade DiAngela is going to be our guest today. I'm going to give you guys just a little bit of information about the topic. Human trafficking is modern day slavery and may involve force, fraud, or coercion in exchange for labor or commercial sex acts. Right now, there are 20 million victims worldwide in the $32 billion a year global human trafficking industry, according to the U.S. State Department. On average, 100 juvenile girls, like our guest today, Sade, that are exploited each and every night in Georgia. Furthermore, approximately 374 girls are commercially sexually exploited monthly in Georgia. According to the statistics compiled by the Center for Public Policy Studies. Unlike Sade, many girls are quickly moved out of the state or even out of the country where they get disconnected from family and loved ones. So today's guest is a woman. Like I said, her name is Sade DiAngela. Sade was a victim of sex trafficking, and she's going to join us and give us some insight into her story. Thank you guys again for joining us. Jeroslyn, darling, you there?
Yes, baby, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you?
Live. I'm good. I'm having a glass of wine.
Oh, good. So you know this topic is really, really important.
Oh, my God. Yes, it is. I'm so happy that you're doing this topic. This is a powerful topic. There's so much BS that we could talk about. But sex trafficking, first of all, it's been an epidemic for the past 10 years. And just now people are starting to raise more awareness around it. But there's still not enough. So by you using your platform to do so, hats off to Rah. Let's get it.
Is there music or something in your background?
Maybe like
I hear some type of,
It's like a wine. I'm in the quiet part of the restaurant.
Yeah, I hear something in the background.
Let me mute it.
Okay, that would be good. Okay, so I want to add Sade, because I want to get right into this topic. I don't want to delay. We have a lot of stuff to talk about today. Of course, we have a couple of different segments. We're gonna get into other things, but this is so important. Everyone that's tuned in for this, I want you guys to, to get informed. Sade, I'm going to, there she is. Hang on one second, guys. I'm going to add her. There we go. If this is not the best station in the nation, I don't know what is, honey. Because there's nothing that can be more flawless than this. How are you, Sade? Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, how are you? I'm well. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. So before I get started, I have a lot of questions. I want you, if you can, tell everyone just a little bit about yourself and in terms of, your name, where you live, where you're from, and just give us a little brief synopsis on yourself before I get right into it.
Okay. I'm originally from Pennsylvania, Erie, Pennsylvania. I moved to Atlanta, Georgia when I was 5. So I pretty much a Georgia peach.
Okay.
I'm 30. I have 2 children, and basically this is not my almost like a jump off to like telling my story and just trying to get a little bit more comfortable with talking about it. But I know it's something very, very important. So this is almost like therapy for me.
Absolutely. Okay, so I spoke with you earlier, just to get you comfortable, because I do understand that this is such a sensitive topic that I don't want you to feel exploited in any way. I want you to know that everyone here, it's almost like a family, but it's also going to be informative to people who are not aware that this is going on. So just as if it was you and I talking on the phone earlier, tell everyone what happened and how this started out. Like how did the situation come about and how you got pulled into this?
Okay, well, it started off, like I told you earlier, it kind of started off before 16. A lot of my trauma probably happened, around 14, but 16, it kind of like hit home. I was a chronic runaway. I didn't have I didn't have a real reason to run away, but I had a good home. I had my parents, my stepdad and my mom, they raised me the best that they could. I went to really nice schools. I lived in a really nice neighborhood, but I think where it probably started from was school, because I would go to school and it would be so many changes that I didn't know how to talk to my parents about. I actually went to a private school, and my parents took me out of that private school and put me into a public school. And it was like a wake-up call, because, my first day at school, for better lack of words, a girl came up to me and asked me if I knew how to do oral. I didn't even know
what. I'm sorry?
Oral. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like I'm young. I don't know what that is. So, that kind of was an eye opener. And a lot of things happened, fighting and stuff like that. So I think I kind of brought that anger home.
Okay. And with that happening, the getting in trouble and stuff like that in school and that transition, you ended up doing what from there?
I ended up getting into arguments with my parents. And from there, I started to run away. I actually ran away so much that the court system actually put me into a group home. And from that group home, me and a couple of girls had decided that we wanted to leave that group home. The location of the group home was actually in the middle of the hood, pretty much. So we would hear the music. We would hear, it was in the summertime, going into the winter, about the end of the summer. So, you would hear music, you would hear people, blasting our music. And, we're just like, oh no, we don't want to be here anymore. We want to, we want to be out there. And so we decided, 5 of us decided that we was going to get together and run away. And
so you guys are all at the group home, 5 of you. And because you kind of hear the what would sound like the joy of the streets, if you will, the music, the people, the laughter. You're like, we don't want to be locked in here, almost like in jail. We want to go outside. Okay.
Yeah, because
so what happens on this day in question?
So we actually got together. We ended up running away. We ended up getting probably back to the end of the street, and some guys pulled up on us and was just like, do you want to come with us? And, 3 of the girls were there separate, and me and another girl, we ended up being together for a majority of the time. So we were just in the streets, doing what young kids are not supposed to be doing, and it just got to the point where I was just like, okay, girl, you're tripping. You know what I mean? Like, you have a beautiful house, you have family that loves you, and you're out here looking like the prodigal son, literally. So I was just like, you know what? I just wanted to go home. I was just like, I'm over it. It's getting cold. You know, the summer is ending. It's like, you know, you need to go home. So the day that I actually decided that I wanted to go home, I was walking down the street and a guy pulled up in a really nice car. And he was a nice looking guy. And he rolled down the window and he asked me if I was okay. And I told him I was fine. But I needed a ride to the train station. And he was just like, you know, it's raining, it's cold, you know, get in the car, I'll take you. So, you know, being 16 and naive, I hopped in a car. I wasn't thinking anything of it, got in the car with him. He proceeded to drive and he actually drove past the train station. That's where I was actually trying to get to.
So what are you thinking at this moment as he's driving you and you see that you're passing the train station to where he's supposed to drop you off?
I silently panicked. You know, in my head, I was just like, okay, you know, maybe he didn't see the train station. So let me just tell him, hey, you passed the train station. And I ended up telling him that. And he was just like really calmly. He never raised his voice. He never got angry. He just calmly pulled out his gun and told me that I needed to call my parents and let them know that they didn't need to look for me. They didn't need to search for me. That basically I was taken care of. And I called my mom from a private number. I blocked the number when I used his phone and called her. She didn't answer, so I left a message. And from there, he took me back to the hotel. And it was another young lady there. And he was telling me that she was going to basically show me the ropes. She was going to basically teach me how everything goes. Now, at this point, I'm just in a shock. You know, I've had a gun pulled out on me. I've had, you know, so many things happen in less than an hour. So I was just numb to the situation at that time. So we actually ended up leaving the hotel, and around that time it was dark, and he actually had me and her on the street. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what to doing stuff. I never was in a position where I came across anything like that. So, you know, I'm standing out there confused, you know, like I don't know what to do. So around that time, it was more girls started coming out, more pimps started coming out, and they started having, you know, everybody stand outside. And we probably was out there probably a good 15, 20 minutes. And I guess the police had rolled past and everybody took off running.
Now, where is this? This is, you know, just describe, because remember, there are so many people that are not familiar with this type of lifestyle. So this is, what would you call this? Like a track for, you know, working prostitution or?
It's an area in Atlanta. Mind you, this is like 10 years ago, so I'm not really sure if it's still like that, but it's in a really bad neighborhood. And it was the trap. Everybody know that area is highly for prostitution, and, you know, a lot of pimps, you know, kind of control that area. So he had me out there with the girls, and I guess the police had rolled past and everyone took off running. And in my head, I was just like, okay, I'm free. You know, I'm good because I can, you know, tell somebody that this is happening to me. So, you know,
when everyone starts to run, Sade, let me ask you, where did you run when everyone starts to run? Did you run to the cop car? Like, where did you go? Like,
I didn't run to the cop car. I don't know, honestly. Like I it was so much going on. I think that was I just was even thinking about that. I actually ended up running into a car full of girls, and in my head, at the time, actually, I didn't even know that it was the police. You know, honestly, you know how they say when one person started running, all black people started running. Yeah. That's how it kind of felt, because it was just like everybody was running. So it was a lot of confusion. And I ended up hopping in a car with a group of girls. And at that time, I had a sigh of relief, because I'm just like, okay, I'm with these girls. I can tell them that I'm 16. A guy pulled a gun on me. He's brought me here. I have no idea what's going on. So we end up leaving. I end up leaving with the girls. We end up going to a gas station where everybody met up at the gas station. So I'm in the car telling them like, hey, I'm young. I don't know what's going on. This guy did such and such, and, telling them my story, and they're numb. They have no emotions, and they're looking at me basically like, you hopped in our car. You are our pimp's girl now.
And how old are these girls? Are they close in age to you? Or are they older?
Oh no, they were maybe, I think, like 2021. They were grown.
Okay.
They were older, yeah. And so one of the girls hopped out the car. She explained the situation. So he came and got me out the car. And the guy that actually did the first, that pulled a gun and brought me into the situation from the beginning, he basically was telling him like, they were going back and forth like, well, she's mine now because she hopped in my car with my girls. And basically they were telling me that I had to basically get like, I was basically sold to one pimp from another. So they set it up where I actually had to have intercourse with someone. And I had to give him the money, and he ended up giving it to the other pimp. And basically I was sold for $100 to another pimp.
Oh my God. You cannot be serious. So this is, this is absolute. This is almost like, I think there's gangs that are initiated by, some sort of violence. They have to go out and do something to someone.
Right.
So they're basically doing your initiation to be passed on to another pimp by having sex with someone. And for such a like, no matter what, it's insane. But $100 is like you're an animal or something.
You're worth nothing. And
right. Now, do you understand that this is like at that moment? Do you understand that this is what's happening to you, or you just like completely like numb to everything?
I think I was just petrified. I mean, I just basically kind of wanted to do whatever they wanted to do because, I've never had a gun pulled out on me. Like I've never been put in a situation where I've had a man have that much control over my situation, because regardless of me running away, I still did what I wanted to do, and I know that if I was to call my mom, she was pulling up wherever, you know what I mean? So I had that kind of relationship with her. So if I called her, it don't matter where I was at, my mom's going to pull up, and she's going to pull up with my dad, with my uncles or somebody's going to come and get me. At this time, I didn't have none of that. I didn't have control over any of that. So,
so I'm going to ask you just a couple of questions just to like fill in the blanks for everyone, because they are just so flabbergasted by this. But first, foremost, like, do you know if the group home even contacted your mom and the girls that you initially were with to try to trace back maybe the steps? Or I know at this time 10 years ago there weren't cameras everywhere like there are now. You know what I mean? Now there's like cameras everywhere you turn.
Everywhere.
You know what I mean? But do you know if the group home was helpful at all in trying to find you?
Definitely. They were really heartbroken. They were really heartbroken about the situation. Like, later on, I did get to, once everything settled down and, I was, found and stuff, I did get to see a couple of the girls, and they said that it was really rough for them. You know what I mean? Because we were, we were there, but they looked at us like they're kids. So, now 5 of their kids are gone, and you have to think the area that we were in, it was prone, and to this day, you wouldn't even think that they would have a group home full of girls that are prone to run away. It was a neighborhood right behind our house.
Now, when you were, now he kept you guys at a hotel, right? Or a house, was it? The gentleman, did he keep you guys at a hotel or in a house? Sade, you there? Oh, I think we lost her. Oh yeah, we lost her. Oh goodness. She probably lost service or something. Of course, I'm gonna add her back, you guys, so you guys can finish hearing what happened, with Sade, which is horrible. Jeroslyn, what are your thoughts? Did I lose everyone? I did. I don't see Jeroslyn on here at all. Hang on, guys. Sometimes this happens. Hey, Milan. How are you, baby? It's not letting you speak? Yeah, Jeroslyn, I added you a while ago. Oh, I don't know what's happening. Send me a new request. It seems like it dropped you both at the same exact time. Sometimes that happens. Yes, absolutely, Milan. The therapy, the healing, all of that. This is helpful. I'm going to, in the meantime, while we get the girls back on the line, I'm going to jump right into something because I don't want to have stale air. We lost both of them. Yeah. Okay. So listen to this. In the meantime, real fast, guys, okay? I'm going to jump forward because anytime I have any technical difficulties, I always say, what would Beyonce do? Okay? And that's that's what my mindset goes. What would B do? Okay? She doesn't miss a beat. So I'm going to jump forward into segment 2, and then we'll get Sade back on the line. Jeroslyn, I think she's about to be with us in a second, and we'll finish talking to her so you guys can find out how this situation ended, how the person who the person who kidnapped her, how they was captive, and how it all ended. So listen, okay, so this is from Josephina. My lover, this is the What Would Rah Do segment, okay? My lover and I have been together 3 years, and we're now having a baby. And we're pregnant because he really wanted a child. We are excited. However, he recently decided to cheat on me twice with 2 different women. I kicked him out, and honestly, I'm okay with not being together because I feel that to cheat is wrong. But to cheat on someone while they're pregnant shows the ultimate disrespect to the woman and the unborn child. Also, it's putting our health at potential risk. On top of that one, he gave somebody money. Ooh, child.
No.
Right. And get out the bathroom, Jeroslyn, because I could already tell you standing in the bathroom on the hallway. It's an echo. It's been a month, and he's begging to come home, and I just don't feel it in my heart. I'm ready to forgive or risk my heart again. My friends say give him a second chance because relationships aren't easy. But again, I feel that if his family was important to him, he wouldn't have done such a horrible thing twice. Also, his excuse was that it was just sex and nothing more. He says that I didn't do anything to him and that he just did it because. Outside of the cheating, he's great and supportive to me and loving. The cheating was the only issue. Now, everybody knows how I feel. I feel like we get a lot of women who need this kind of advice. But so, Jeroslyn, I'm going to let you answer this. What would Rah do?
Let me tell you something. First of all, this man is a serial cheater. It's very reminiscent of what we're seeing on Real Housewives with Portia and Dennis. The fact there was possibly already signs ahead of time that this man was cheating. You know, they still went forward with the relationship. She now gets pregnant. I've seen it time and time again. My younger sister is one of them, where a man says to you, I want you to have my baby. And it's like a trap. And they know you're having that baby. They show you their true colors. But now it's like, what are you going to do? You're already you're in it to win it. You're about to have this man's child. What I would say to her, I would say to be his friend, because at the end of the day, they have a child together. They have to deal with each other. But she should not have sex with him. She should not allow him to feel that he has any rights to her or her. She should really wait to see if he shows any kind of improvement. Is he really going to therapy on his own? Because this is a deep-rooted issue. When men are out here cheating, sleeping with women, giving them money, sliding your dick up at anything without a condom, you know, like, you have no regard for yourself and others. You need to get help. If you're not going to get help, then you don't need to be with me. I would tell her, do not lock it down, lock the cookie.
Right.
From her.
And see, that's the thing. That's great advice. That's, you know, hands down, that's the right advice. The problem is that women are extremely emotional creatures. And when they have that connection with a man where they're actually pregnant or have a child, it makes it even that much harder because they're emotional and can't get over men when there isn't a child involved. So I feel like for this young lady, it's going to be really hard for her to go through experiencing pregnancy without the support of the child's father. I feel like as strong as she probably feels like she's able to be, it's very, 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 very seldom that women just leave for that reason. In the process of explaining this, she also says he's a great guy. Outside of that, the only thing he really did was cheat. You know what I mean? He just
So why not just be his friend? Why not just be his friend? Why do you have to allow him to have rights on your body? That's where I'm saying, cut that off. You could still talk to him, communicate with him, and maybe if they had took more time being friends, she would have saw these red flags ahead of time. So just kind of, reverse it. Do it now. Be his friend. Just you can talk to him every day, spend time with him, but do not let him have any rights to your body or your time.
And let me tell you something. This is all facts. If a man cheats on you, you catch him, right? And you forgive him, you allow him to do it again, I promise you he's going to do it again. It doesn't matter, because once you have to really make a man feel it in order for him to be almost like scared straight. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you have to really make him feel it. There's no way. When I say you have to leave, like, you actually have to leave. You have to have him sick. He has to be in the bed wondering if there's another man penetrating you, if you moan in the same way. He needs to be wondering if you cooking for that man. He needs to be sick. Leave his ass, honey. Okay? And make sure the next move is the best move.
Okay.
So anyway, let me see if we got a shot.
Not with the tongue smack.
You heard that? You heard that?
Yes.
Hold on, let me do it again. You heard it? Sade, baby, are you here?
I'm back.
Okay, wonderful. I'm so sorry that it dropped.
No,
sometimes those little technical things happen. Oh, it was your phone. Oh, good. It was your phone. Wonderful.
It was my phone. No, I was like talking. I'm just like, oh my gosh, my phone completely just died on the charger.
Oh, okay. No worries. No worries at all. No worries. So, okay. So you got in this situation. We totally understand what happened. Now tell us about how this came to a close and how you got reunited back with your mom.
Okay. Well, long story short, my mom actually a major part in finding me. One of the girls ended up having a change of heart, and I think I told you I ended up getting locked up with one of the girls. He actually had us out on the street one night, and I had a fake ID. I was 16 with a fake ID. The girl looked nothing like me. And I ended up getting locked up with the girls and in the Atlanta jail. And, the guys was on one side, the females on one side, and the guys are like yelling at the security guards, like, this girl is she's a baby. Why is she in here? And to the point where the security guards grabbed me and, took me into a room and was just like, okay, like, what's up? Like, how old are you? Questioning me. But at this point, I was traumatized. The second pimp, he had, threatened to kill my family. He threatened to kill me if I ever try to run away. I watched him beat girls. I watched him do a lot of things. So at that time, I was kind of brainwashed, into whatever you want, because I felt guilty. I felt like it was my fault that I put my family and myself into this position from running away in the beginning. So a lot of people are like, well, why didn't you leave? I was scared. Not only was I scared, I kind of blamed myself, because I'm like, I did this. You know what I mean? So I kind of deserve this, because, if something happens to my family, they're going to be like, well, it's Sade's fault because she put herself in that position. So I end up not telling the officers, my information, but they end up calling my mom, and she didn't end up answering. It was a private, so she probably missed it. And they end up releasing me back to the pimp. Because they didn't have any more evidence.
Insane.
Yeah,
imagine you feel like, okay, I'm in custody, I'm in police custody, they're gonna connect the dots, and then they fingerprint you, process you, and release you back to him.
Release me back to him, no questions. The girls were with me, so of course they're looking at me like, you better not say nothing, and when I came out that room, they kind of gave me that you good girl look, like you did what you were supposed to. And it was to the point where, like I told you, sometimes it didn't feel like it was a kidnap situation where I felt like I could go. But then it's days where you're like laying there and you're just like, I literally cannot get out this door without fearing that I'm gonna get shot or something, you know,
right, because you're a minor, and just in general, that the person who takes you captive, it's a brain process. They make you feel like this is what you're supposed to be doing. This is your family, or in some cases, I know people are gagged and tied up, and you're in fear that you'll be killed or your family members. So you know, it's a whole bunch of things, of course, that I understand are going through your mind. I am so grateful that you are okay.
Yes,
but
definitely.
I want you to let them know exactly how he was caught and how you are doing now, and also what steps people can take to be supportive to what you have going on now, as well as other women that are experienced or have experienced something like this.
Okay. So yeah, after I was released back to them, I ended up having to go to the bail bond and getting signed out. Signed when you do bail bond, you get locked up. You have to go back and sign, so they don't have a warrant out for your arrest. At that time, I didn't know that my mom was heavily active in my search. I didn't know that she was an undercover prostitute. I didn't know that she was working with the Atlanta PD, walking the streets.
A mother's love, honey. A mother's love.
A mother's love. You know, me being a mom now, honey, I will pave the streets for my kids too, you know. And so when I went back to actually sign the bail bond, I didn't know that one of the girls and my mom had talked and was like, hey, if you don't get your daughter tonight, they're going to send her off to New York because she's a liability. I hadn't been arrested. You know what I mean? So now
my goodness.
It's looking back at him because, you know, I'm a minor. So I guess, you know, they probably did put a bug in the ear like, hey, we had to release this girl to this pimp, but look into it type of situation. And then on top of my mom being in the streets, and she ended up coming. I don't think she was there that night, but the night that I actually ended up signing the bail bond, and you know they came and took me into custody. And
so they had to do like an actual sting, like
they had to set up as a sting. They set it up as a sting to a point where they didn't know that any involvement with me. You know, they thought it was something totally that my mom was part of that situation. So actually the detective that helped break the case, you know, he pulled me in the room and I was just numb. I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to say anything. And he was just like, listen, he was like, I'll kill them myself. You know, not literally, but he was just angry. He was just like, you ain't never got to worry about that no more. He was just like, and I just burst into tears. And I was just like, you know, I had to explain everything that happened. And it was just like a weight kind of lifted, you know, because it's just like, I don't have to worry about it. And I ended up having to go to court. You know, I had to give them the information. Like they did a whole bust at their house. I had to tell them where he hid the guns and where this pistol was at, or, you know, every little detail of the house.
You assisted them in capturing him and giving them information on where his weapons were and things like that. Now he was arrested. Do you know how much time he got?
I'm not sure, but I was told that he got life. I'm hoping that's true because he was already on parole for sex trafficking a minor prior to my situation. When my case broke, it freed 10 other girls, the youngest being 13. So, you know, that it was a major break. You know, it kind of crippled that little pimp section that they had going on. Right. You know, it was really twisted. You know, we would sit there for hours.
Where are you? Not in terms of where are you? We don't need to know the state. But where are you in life now? And what are you doing now?
Right now, I have an organization called Fashion for Life. Basically, we're trying to address, because a lot of times, you know, kids want to go out and do things, you know, because they look at TV and this girl has this fashion, or she has this Gucci bag, or she has this, and they want to be able to know how to get that money. And that's an easy way for a pimp to come in and be like, well, I can help you get that money. I can get you that Gucci bag. I can get you them Gucci shoes. You know what I mean? So my organization is trying to show you ways that you can be a better you without having to go through that process. And also,
now tell us the name of it.
It's called Fashion for Life.
Fashion for Life. Okay.
Fashion for Life. Yes. And And we're also trying to build safety homes for girls that are coming, transition homes, because in my situation, I was thrown back into society so fast. It was a culture shock for me, because you can't go through being in that situation, being, around pimps and all that stuff, and then try to be thrown back into the world. You can't. Mentally, it's, rather you say it or not, it's a real mental problem. It's hard. Right, you know what I mean? Right. And a lot of girls go back to that situation because if you've been taught that that's all you're worth or that's all you're supposed to be, what do you think you're going to go back to? That.
Absolutely. Yep. I understand. And so, I'm with you. My heart is with you. Everyone feels like you are really brave. You're amazing for what you're doing, for helping with the awareness. Hopefully this conversation helps everyone who's a part of this chat. Hopefully this conversation helps just everyone, share the story, share it with other people. Be mindful of where you are going. Everyone always says, try not to travel places, especially late at night by yourself. And if you are, keep your locations on, find my phone. My assistant.
And talk. Communication is so big when it comes to your children and your girls.
Absolutely. My assistant, her name is Brianna. She goes out and she's 24. She goes out, she has a social life. She sends me the license plate number of whoever she's getting in the car with, just right. So you don't have to say, yeah, you can enjoy your life and have a good time, but just let people, let them be aware
what's going on. Right. Definitely.
So thank you, Sade. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I
really appreciate you telling your story. You guys remember to check out her nonprofit. Take care, beautiful.
Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, that was deep. Jeroslyn, I hope you're there. Are you there? Well, you send a request, so you're there. Hold on one second, guys. Hang on one second, guys. She's coming right now. Okay. Jeroslyn, did you hear that?
Yes. Oh my God, Lord Jesus. Protect your children. And what was so striking about her story was that she came from a 2-parent home. Yeah. A normal household. Yep. And she was just, having experiences at school that she didn't feel comfortable telling her parents, and she was holding all of this in. So for anyone listening that has children, I would really suggest find ways to communicate with your child, meet them where they're at, and let them know that you're their friend as well as their parents. And even
if it's not a child, it's grown women that are going through this. So
it's that part.
You know what I mean? It's not just children. There's adults that are going through it as well. So you just have to be mindful. This is a lot of people. This isn't like 10 people, 20 people. Millions. It's a $1 billion industry. Yes. Crazy. So I'm really happy she was here. So I'm going to jump into the next segment, guys. This is Sound Off On Site with the T, where we discuss the juiciest topics from all over, giving our 2 cents about it. I'm going to add our sweet darling
Millie. Yes, she about to spill it, baby.
You guys can drop your bombs because she's about to come. Millie baby, send me a request. Okay, there you are. Everybody, let her know. Show the love. Send the bombs. Send the bombs. Send the bombs. Send the bombs. Hi, Millie.
Hey.
How do you feel, Pumpkin?
I feel better. Thank you so much for asking.
Good. What we talking about today?
Okay, so first on the list is Jerica. That's Young Thug's girlfriend, longtime on again, off again girlfriend. And Brittany, one of Future's 5011 baby mamas. So she the one. She got all the AP watches. She's Queen AP. So a few years back, Brittany
and what Future say? If she ain't got an AP, she what? She belonged to the streets.
She belonged to the streets, and she got. I mean, they go up to her elbows.
She got her AP.
She got all of them. Okay, so that's
Okay.
Queen AP. So Jerica and Brittany went into business together a few years ago. Selling merchandise, clothing.
What kind of business?
It was a clothing business.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I didn't either, but for whatever reason, they fell out and they no longer did business together. Well, recently, Brittany decided that she wanted to sell a couple of coats. It's getting cold. She wanted the ladies to have some fur. Well, Jerica saw the coat and said, we were selling that when we were in business together. You should have included me on the deal. You don't do good business. And she aired her out all over Instagram.
What did she say?
And she basically just said that there were money issues. She didn't feel like she could trust her. She felt like Brittany was withholding, personal details like the password so that Jerica could check, what was going on with the business. She said that she did not feel like it was fair that she's not been included. Now, this is a wholesale jacket off of some Alibaba, AliExpress. And Jerica really is losing her mind. And Brittany said Jerica don't show up for work and answer the phone, so she don't know why she mad.
I cannot stand. Listen, I got to give a goddamn disclaimer before I say what I'm going to say because it'll come off the wrong. When I say I cannot stand doing business with females, it does not work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It just, I want to see a success story behind it. Women are so catty, so emotional, so competitive. It's always a damn problem. It don't matter if they rich, if they poor, if they middle class, it's always a goddamn issue. That doesn't make no sense at all. Like, it is really sad. We have got to do better, all of us, between, not being able to keep business separated from personal, because you can get into, you can disagree with something with your business partner and say, look, I don't like the way this is what it should be, and still continue the business. Men do it all the time. Women always gotta go left. Women always gotta go goddamn left. Well, anywho, so what happened? How did that end?
Well, it's basically ended with Brittany saying that she's too old to go back and forth on a free app. And Jerica, just saying she's a bum. So I guess, fur coats will be sold. And Jerica just going to be looking crazy.
Hopefully they make up.
They will.
They was never friends in the first place.
And that's all facts. That's all facts, because no matter how mad you are, someone that you're friends with, your girlfriend, y'all could disagree about something. You don't have to go on Instagram and go crazy on the person. So everybody had my moments, my own self, where I'm like,
your last year self.
Right.
But I do think that it's like the rise of like the baby mamas and the girlfriends. Like, I'm looking at the blogs, all they're talking about is Ariana Fletcher and
I love her. I get so mad. Jada
when
she does stuff, but I love her. You know what I mean?
Well, I love her body. She's just all natural. Is going to be the year of the baby mama, so I'm here for it.
You said 2020 is the year of the baby mama?
Yes.
Why is 2020 not the year of the wives? Can we do better?
I would agree so. I just got engaged. I'm feeling myself. But these baby mamas.
Yes, JJ! That's right. Sneak that in, girl. Sneak that in. Sneak that in. Millie, tell me what else is the tea, honey.
Okay, so the Soul Train Awards happened recently, and they had all of our favorites in the building. Well, Ari Lennox, who's a great musician, under J. Cole's roster, she was nominated for an award, and she lost out to Lizzo. And so she went on Instagram, and she expressed, how she didn't appreciate it. She said she feels like she put her heart and soul into a soul album for Black people, and she felt like because she doesn't, keep up with trends and, do what they would deem as cool, that she's not getting the recognition that she deserves. And so a lot of people took it as her being ungrateful.
I'm sorry to cut you off. That is not how, people killed me. If you lost, you lost. You can't go on and get mad at people because they didn't choose you. Do you know how many times and how often and how I still am the underdog? Because maybe you don't transition into what the people do, if you're not, if you're not the rappers, or if you're not twerking and popping your ass, or if you're not doing whatever the trend is for that moment, and they choose to show favoritism to the girls that is doing it, then kudos to them. You continue to do what you need to do for yourself. You can't attack people because you're not the people's choice. You just continue to do what you need to do to rise, and your time will come whenever it comes, if it does come. And if not, then there's an audience of people who support and like what you do. Everybody is not going to love you. As you can see, for instance, Megan is an artist that people love. And that girl shakes her ass for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they love it. As to where someone like, what's her name, Ari Lennox, Ari Lennox, that's not her thing. But obviously, if she was even nominated, there's an audience of people who also support her.
And Lizzo has been grinding for years, so we can put that out there. Granted, I do in a way agree with Ari because I'm a fan. Her album was
amazing.
Right. Lizzo has been putting in grind for a couple of years now. So for her to win, Lizzo could have tweeted that 5 years ago.
And guess what? Even if she didn't put in a work for a couple years, because there's artists that we know about right now that we don't feel put in the work that other artists do, and they still get the notoriety. So this is a different time. This is not back in the day. Things change. I say that all the time. I am not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of the gimmicks and the payola. I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff. But shit changes, and we don't have a choice but to transition with it. It just is what it is. You can't cry about it and get mad and tell people because I don't dress the same way y'all want me to dress, or I'm not trendy, y'all didn't vote for me. Listen, don't be a sour apple. Suck it up the same way I do. Okay?
Train Awards, Lizzo is not soul.
Whatever. Well, she got her award.
She got her award. Twerk on and flute on, Lizzo. With that
right. Exactly. Exactly. Now listen to this, okay?
Uh-oh.
I can't. I watched this clip on the Neighborhood Talk.
Which one?
Of Little Kim. I'm going to give you guys...
Oh, yes.
I'm going to give you guys the rundown for anybody who's not aware of the story. And then I'm going to weigh in, and then I want to hear what y'all got to say, okay? Of course, we're going over a little bit today because we started a little bit late. So we're going to be with you guys for like another 15 minutes. So listen to this. Little Kim claps back at people in her comments shading about Naturi Naughton. It says... Little Kim is not playing with y'all. It all started when someone in her comments called her corny for still going at Naturi over the movie Notorious. Kim replied stating that person doesn't know what they're talking about. And I don't want to read her comment because it's so corny and vulgar and just like, it's just unnecessary. But the bottom line is, with my own 2 eyes, I watched an interview that was on the Neighborhood Talk where Little Kim says that she does not appreciate Naturi playing her in the movie Notorious, and that she felt like Naturi disrespected her in an interview. So I actually took it upon myself, being the aspiring journalist that I am, to go look for that interview. If that was a disrespectful interview, then I don't know who I'm sitting here in front of y'all. But I tell you, it was the most respectful interview that I have ever, like, Naturi was so nice. She says, I tried to reach out to Little Kim, to get her to support in me playing this role. She goes one day, for rehearsal, she happens to run into her, and she's like, the queen, oh my God, to pay homage and show love to her. And Kim basically walks right past her, slams the door, and goes screaming and yelling at the director of the movie. Naturi says, I wanted her blessings. I feel like it would have been amazing just to be able to sit down with her and talk to her. And Kim gave her ass to kiss. Even after this interview, she did not disrespect her. Everyone in the comments weighed in and said that they felt like Kim's problem was that she did not want a dark-skinned woman playing her in the movie. bottom line, simple. She would have loved for Naturi to have done something wrong so that she could have been like, oh, she did a terrible job playing me. That's not how it was. Or she could have said, oh, she actually disrespected her, but she didn't. She wanted a Asian lady or a Hispanic woman to play her, and then she would have embraced them. It should be about your story, excuse me, because it wasn't even her story, it was Big's story, but it should be about your true self being displayed in that movie, not the complexion of the actress. You know what I mean? That was crazy.
Kim casts her when she do her
really
own
big thing. Huh?
I want to see who Kim would cast as herself. I want to see who little Kim would cast as herself.
You cut out, Jeroslyn. What'd you say?
I want to see who little Kim would cast as herself in her own film.
Right. Well, I saw they quoted her. They said little Kim says that she is a black girl trapped, a Spanish girl trapped in a black woman's body.
She literally said that.
Yes. If that's not the craziest shit ever. Fifi says she wanted Christina Milian to play her.
Christina Milian, girl, you're
crazy.
Delusional. Disgusting and delusional.
That's absolutely crazy. So I was disappointed in that, but what do you expect, child? These people be crazy. On to the next topic. Stephen A. Smith
Naturi
and Eric Reid exchanged words on social media following Colin Kaepernick's workout. I'm so proud of myself for saying Colin, not Colin, because I pronounce it Colin every single time. Oh my God. Colin Kaepernick held his workout for representatives from the NFL teams in Atlanta. There was a change of plans for the location of the workout. Nonetheless, Colin showed off his skills and proved that he has been in a great shape and ready to play. However, Stephen A. Smith made a video about the incident and shared that he doesn't think that Colin really wants to play in the NFL. Now, Millie, are you familiar with all this that happened? JJ, are you familiar?
Yeah,
Millie got it.
Yeah, I read it and I have been keeping up with it. I was kind of getting a headache because of all of the stories that were coming out back to back about what was going on. You know, they had unconfirmed sources saying that Jay-Z wasn't pleased with how it turned out, and he felt like it had gotten turned into a publicity stunt. Then it came back and said that he didn't say that. And Stephen A. Smith, I feel like he played his hand. He went on, his show, on his platform, and they acknowledged that Nike, asked the NFL to retract statements that they asked for any type of, videos to be recorded or anything like that, and they didn't. And Stephen A. Smith acknowledged that he had heard that. So why are you picking and choosing what you're reporting on? I feel like he made himself look like a liar. So I don't know what was going on, but I feel like they tried to play with Colin and make him look like a fool. I really do.
Patrice said Stephen A. Smith out here tap dancing for them. What do you think?
Yeah, Stephen A. works for ESPN.
JJ, I know,
he works for
NFL, you about
NBA.
to be coined the new Richard. If you don't find yourself some Wi-Fi, you trying to take Richard's spot.
I want Wi-Fi.
You trying to take because yours is cutting out. Yours is cutting out. What did you say?
Let me get on Wi-Fi.
Yes,
can you hear me? Sorry, I think it was me messing with my earpiece.
Oh.
Basically, Stephen A. Smith works for the man. He works for ESPN. He is an employee. He is not really entitled to have his own opinion. And you can tell, I watch the sports because of my fiance. And everything that Stephen A. says is typically formulated from the owners of the team of whoever he's talking about. So I don't care what he has to say about Kaepernick. The fact that he didn't really even show any support towards him holding a practice when we already know the situation with the NFL and Kaepernick and them bringing on Jay-Z because now they want to act like they interested in what black people care about. The fact that he didn't show any support towards Kaepernick, we already know why Kaepernick moved the practice, and it was because the NFL wanted to try to have it closed so no other media could come. And Kaepernick wanted everyone to see that he is ready to get back on the field. So shut up, Stephen A., with your screaming ass, with your throwback ass hairline. And they need to stop playing and put Kaepernick back on the field.
Do you guys think that Cap will have another opportunity to showcase his skills? Do you think that it's over for him for this season or in general?
I might be over. A wrap.
Yeah.
You guys think it's over? What do you
Not
guys
that we
think
wanted
in the chat?
to.
Tell me right, but just the facts. What do you guys think in the chat? Everyone seems to not be a fan of Stephen A. Smith. Elisa says he should hang it up. Mrs. Always Right says Colin signed a non-disclosure agreement from the NFL. True to myself, Ashley says definitely over. Nope, he's good. Nope, Jay-Z is not Malcolm X. He the closest thing to it.
Unfortunately,
the closest thing to it. We don't have many leaders, honey.
They don't. They won't allow us.
Y'all don't want to listen to. Y'all want to listen to the thugs. Y'all want to listen to young thug, old thug, new thug. Y'all want to listen to all the thugs and the people that's high. That's what y'all want to do. Y'all want to listen to drug addicts. Okay? It's sad, sad, sad.
Sad.
Y'all are going crazy. He's out. He skipped the job interview. If football is his passion, he needs to go play in Canada, which is also an option. He can do that as well. Excuse me, Jay-Z is nowhere near Malcolm X. I think I can speak to my comment, which is, yes, he's not the same person, but he is doing a fine job of representing for the African American, honey. Okay?
I agree.
Thank you. Don't come up in here telling me what I think. Hold on, let me say what your name is. Keshad. Keshad. You know any other leaders? And even look at how they deleted Minister Louis Farrakhan's Instagram. When I say
they've been blacklisting him, right?
Yes,
they've been blacklisting him for years.
Anything that was controversial, he didn't disrespect anybody. His messages were always super positive, and they were about, us coming together and getting ahead as a people. There was, I would actually look, because I'm interested in seeing that. You know what I mean? If there's still, if we're going to still continue to kind of like push the envelope with those messages. But Keyshawn says, no, Rah, I love you, but I disagree. And that's okay. That's okay. We can disagree. That's fine. I'm okay with that.
Quick question.
Yes.
Not to go too off topic, because Millie mentioned earlier in the chat that J Boog responded to Omarion's interview, and I didn't get to see that. And I would like to know what J Boog said, because this Omarion befuddling me. How was he promoting the tour?
Because Jeroslyn's phone chopped out. I'm gonna tell you what she said. Millie, she says she wants to know what J Boog said in response to Omarion.
Well, Omarion, threw a little quick joke out, and he said, Millennium Tour 2020. So J Boog did a video, and one of the takeaways was him saying that B2K will not be, at that tour performing. So nobody knows what the issue is, but he wasn't feeling it and said that's not happening. So that was pretty much it.
Oh, okay.
Omarion could do it by himself.
Omarion could do what?
He could do the tour by himself.
Right. All the ladies love him so much, especially after he showed such maturity and how he handled that situation. We're going to get ready to wrap this up because we started late. I didn't get an opportunity to give a really big shout out to Dante Lyric. I played the song 187. You guys let me know. I don't even know if you guys realized when I played it, but I'm going to close out with that song today to give you guys another opportunity to hear that song. Let me know if you like it and if you like me to keep it in the rotation. I also want, you liked it, Patrice? Okay. I also once more want to encourage you guys that if you are an artist or if you know someone that is an artist, to submit their song to me so I can listen to it, hear it, and see if I like it and want to add it to the queue, okay? Millie, I know you weren't feeling so good, but you pulled through and you're a hustler and you're a hard worker. And I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart for being here no matter what. JJ, thank you for filling in. Richard, we miss you if you happen to hear this. That's the nicest thing I'm going to say to you until at least 2020. Don't wait for it again. Like I said, he'll be back December 10th. Thank you guys so much. All right. I appreciate you guys so very much. I love you guys. I'm gonna try to find the song and play it for you guys. And we'll see you guys next week. Okay.